In one of my recent videos, we spoke about recruitment practices. I'd like to expand upon that topic a bit. Last time we covered not tokenizing our comrades, and I gave some advice on how to address the issue of a disproportionate representation among membership. This time, I'd like to address the issue of poaching. Poaching is the attempt to convince someone away from their current organization, party, or group and into another, presumably yours. I'm addressing mostly unintentional poaching here, the kind that happens out of good intentions but can have a negative impact on your organization's culture and reputation. And in the end, will have the opposite effect towards recruitment than intended. One example of poaching done like this I've seen a number of times online. It happens in person too, but for this example, it's happening online. Someone will express a frustration with their current party, organization, club, what have you, and someone or someones will inevitably chime in and follow up with something seemingly rather innocuous or harmless. They'll say, well, why don't you join my organization instead? Or maybe something a little more crass. Well, that's because that party sucks. You should join my party instead. In both of these examples, I think the person attempting to persuade the person away from their organization and into another is well intentioned. They see an issue and they see a fix for that issue. However, the things we say, and especially the things we do, reflect upon our parties, organizations, clubs, etc., that we're a part of. When looking at these examples of poaching from the outside, these statements are viewed negatively. They diminish and tarnish the integrity of the organization or party or whatnot that is attempting to poach from another. And since we are collectivist and not individualist, we should take this into account in our recruitment tactics. I get it. It's super hard to resist the urge. It's almost impulsive to try and recruit someone when you see the opportunity arise. But we have to be careful and we have to use high road and not low road practices in regards to recruitment. Another example of poaching is when you take your information, leaflets, newspapers, whatever, and attempt to distribute them at an event organized by the hard work of others. I don't mean like a public demonstration or a protest or rally. Those are gatherings of whoever happens to come, whoever got the flyer. I think pretty much anybody is welcome to hand out flyers and whatever at events like that. What I'm talking about is more events that are organized to draw an attendance to a specific event, such as a meeting, convention, movie showings, summits, events like these. It takes a lot of time, effort, and yes, money to put these types of things on. It's expensive to be an organizer if you don't have some sort of nonprofit funding coming in or grants. But if you're a member-funded organization or party, then these things are costly, right out of the organizers' and members' pockets. All of that means something. It is disrespectful to then show up and attempt to draw attention to your own organization or party, unless you've been invited. If you want to hand out newspapers or leaflets, all you have to do is ask the organizers. Just go up and ask somebody. I've been doing activist work for 20 years and I have never, but on a couple of isolated incidences, seen someone denied the opportunity to hand out materials at an event. I'd like to end with an anecdotal example of poaching. I went to socialism, the International Socialist Organization's organized annual event. Well, it was until they dissolved recently. But back in 2008 or thereabout, I attended, and while we were there in between sessions, many of us filed outside, and there was a person selling radical papers for $1. So while in the process of buying this paper, an ISO organizer began very sternly and loudly telling this person that they were not welcome to hand out papers there, they were not welcome to poach their members, and basically tried to chase them off. The person actually stuck around, and I was pretty confused about what I was witnessing, and I actually went ahead and bought a paper from them and talked with them for a few minutes. But later I did find out that these two groups had hostilities, and it actually ended in street fights with one another. So there was a history of hostility already between these two groups, but still, looking back on that, I can see why the ISO comrade felt slighted by another person standing outside a convention that took a lot of work and money to put on and try to poach from folks who came to their event. So we don't often talk about the best practices in terms of recruitment, and I think that it's important that we do, because the correct recruitment methods will provide better results and will help to create a culture within the revolutionary left, parties and organizations, of integrity, and help to make our shared spaces more productive. Thanks so much for your time, comrades. If you like the video, hit the like, hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe buttons, and have a good one.